What's up, everyone? If you've been following along on YouTube Shorts, then you know that this video is coming out today, which is January 29th, I believe. But the important thing is I'm sharing the results of the oil analysis post the track day or HPDE or NASA event or whatever. So for those of you that aren't familiar, at least here in the US, Toyota gives you a free NASA track day event, which is really just a high performance driving education event where it teaches you kind of fundamentals of driving, things like that. If you've participated in a NASA before, you could obviously go into the bracket that you usually are in because it's 1 through 4, I believe, in terms of the things you could participate in. But the spirit of the program is to help people who have never been on the track or have very little exposure to the track to get introduced to it, to make driving fun, make driving safe, and for you to see the full experience of your GR car, and in our case specifically the GR86. Now, with that being said, there's been a ton of stuff online about all the issues with these cars, specifically the engine, which is of course made by Subaru, not Toyota. And one of the things that people have been talking about is the dreaded right-hand turn on the track or right-hand turn while experiencing high Gs and the car blowing up. Now, there are tons and tons of people out there on the GR86 forums, on the Facebook pages, who have all contradicted this, saying that they've gone on multiple track days, had no issues. And then when you get to talking to them or reading some of their posts or getting insight from them or even meeting them at the track like I did, one thing that they'll tell you is, you can't run this, you can't run that, or do this mod or do that mod. And I'm not one to tell you what to do with your car, but I can tell you Subaru Boxer engines, Porsche Boxer engines for that matter, have had issues for a long time in terms of like oil starvations, things like that. It's just how they're engineered. It's the way that the engines are set up with the opposing pistons, but they have been around so long that there's so many things that help prevent that. And frankly, a lot of the newer cars have things engineered into them, particularly like Porsches, to prevent that stuff from happening. Now, with that being said, we have seen these cars blow up. We have seen evidence of RTV. We have seen evidence of multiple things that can point to there could be some problems with these engines. Now, with that being said, I am one of many owners who is logging data, making sure that things look okay. My car is 98% going to be a fun, just street car. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing events in it or not. I took advantage of the free NASA event. That was a lot of fun. I may do it again in the future, just not sure. Now, with that being said, one of the things that I'm data logging is my oil analysis results. So if you haven't caught the first video where I did the initial oil analysis on this car, post 1,000 miles. So once I hit the break-in period for this car at 1,000 miles, I changed my own oil. I then turned around and had the dealership change the oil before taking it to the NASA event because I wanted them to be the last people to touch this car. Lessons learned, if you haven't seen that short, long story short, they ended up double gasketing my drain plug and stripping out part of my skid plate. I got that all corrected. I changed the oil myself. I had them give me the money for the bolt and the clip that they messed up. Thankfully, they comped that for free, as they should, because it was their fault. And then I have the car currently filled with 0W20 Motul oil. Now, with that being said, I get the whole controversy around the 020. I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, it's a very, very thin oil. I would highly recommend taking a look at the manual. We're actually going to do that in one of my shorts, is look at the manual and show you what it says in the US. And I know in a lot of other countries in the manuals, it has different viscosity ratings for the oil. And I think it speaks to regulations for one, and two, the environment. You know, it's hotter, colder in various climates, and so they're kind of trying to fit parameters and regulations for that specific geographical area. So it's no shocking story that there's different viscosity oil ratings for different geographical areas. Now, all that rambling set aside, I'm pleased to share with you the results of this. And I'm going to tell you, prior to sending this off, I was very nervous because when I took the oil out, I have a short for this as well, where I actually shined a flashlight down into the oil that I put into the test container that I was shipping to Blackstone, and it looked very shiny. Again, I don't know if it was dirt. I don't know if it was just basic wear metals, because again, this car still only has just under 2,000 miles on the clock. It's crazy to think I haven't driven it that much, but that's how many miles is on the clock currently. It's right around about 1,900 miles. And at the time of sending the oil off, it was around closer to 1,600 miles, somewhere in that range. So Really interested to see, actually I think it was maybe 1700 now that I think about it. But really interested to see the results of this. One, because I was a little bit uneasy just seeing the oil physically after changing it. Two, having taken it to the NASA event from Toyota at Road Atlanta, kind of nervous about it as well. Just wanted to check the overall health of the engine. Now, with that being said, we'll finally get to the part of the video that you guys are here for, which is the results. So they said, hey, nice second report. Your GR86's FA24D has matured well. Iron, copper, and silicone have come way down since the first sample. And if you haven't checked that out again, I'd recommend going back to my initial video where I did the first analysis because the results were kind of crazy. They said iron and copper show average steel and brass bronze wear, and silicone is low enough to show no significant sealer or lube or dirt contaminants. Dirt will register as a silicone in analysis. You noted interest in extended oil use, and we're all for it. This 0W20 is in great condition after only 200 miles, 201 miles to be specific. Running it longer should be no problem. Try going 3,000 miles on the next fill. That's the interval universal averages for the FA24 to reflect. Now, with that being said, this oil that I did send them only had 201 miles on it. And the reason being is, like I said, I changed it initially after that break-in period. I put a couple hundred miles on that oil. I had the dealership change it, and then I took it the same week up to Road Atlanta. So between driving it to the track, back from the track, and then doing multiple laps on the track, it wound up being about 201 miles collectively that I ended up putting on this oil. So with that being said, the oil probably wasn't even really broken in, but really happy to hear the results that my engine is wearing normally. They didn't see anything abnormal. In fact, the results had progressed as they had hoped based off the first result. I am going to continue to do these results, so if this is something that you're interested in, I would recommend subscribing because I'm going to periodically do these as time goes on. I'm probably going to move it up to the 3,000 mile interval though going forward, so I'm not going to do these as frequently. But I will periodically check in with you guys, give you guys an overall update on the car. How's it doing? What's the oil results if I have it, etc. Now, it's a lot easier for me to just share this on the video than to go through and read each individual thing, because some of you may be interested in the more detailed analysis and some of you may just want the overall. The overall is engine's good, engine's fine. They don't seem to hear or they don't seem to see anything abnormal in the oil results. I don't hear anything abnormal either as I'm driving this vehicle, so I'm going to go with I think everything's okay for the time being, knock on wood. You know, time will tell with how well this car will hold up. With that being said, I will share these results with you. I'll put them at the end of the video, so feel free to pause the video if you want to look at the detailed report where it actually breaks down the types of metals and things per million. And the cool thing is it will show you my first test comparative to this test, and so they have it all graphed out here. And so as time goes on, you'll be able to see the results comparatively also with stacked up against the universal averages, because again, there's a lot of us GR86 BRZ owners out there that are doing these oil analysis, just peace of mind, data logging, etc. And so thankfully there's a lot of research on these cars that's already in their database. So that being said, again, I will share this at the end of the video. Feel free to pause it if this is something that's interesting to you. If you guys found this video helpful, if you like this type of content, please like, subscribe, put some comments down there below for suggestions. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the GR86, if this is a car that you're interested in, maybe you're looking at purchasing yourself, you're a little bit apprehensive, or you just simply want to know what it's like to do an oil analysis with Blackstone because you've seen us YouTubers do it and you want to know what it's like to actually go through the process, put it in the comments below. I'm happy to walk you through it, happy to explain how it works. It's a really simple process in my opinion. With that being said though, I thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.